What is going on, horror fans? Scream Fanatic here, and in this video, what I wanted to talk about, so I'm going to make another Stu video. I'm sure some of you guys are sick of me talking about Stu, but I mean, I don't know what else to make videos about, and that's what gets me the most clicks, the most likes, and the most engagements. But the title of this video is going to be called How Stu Macher Should Die Off. Like, how... Maybe this won't be the exact title when I'm done recording this video and I type out the title on YouTube, but the theme of this video is how Stu Macher should die. For real, for real. Knowing that he is alive, I'm going to double down for these haters, for the people who don't agree with me, for the Stu deniers. I don't give a fuck. I don't care. Agree to disagree. But with Stu being alive, right? Because the chapter is not closed yet. You can call it copium all you want. I don't really care. But with Stu being alive, with all the evidence being out there to support that he is alive, based off, the coffee shop video call, the tavern video call, the attack on that couple in Stu's house, Scott and Madison, and of course how Jessica's son died, how he was killed, and then also the Easter eggs throughout Scream 5 and 6. Knowing he's alive, how do we get rid of him for good? How do we bury Stu for good? Well, first things first. The one to kill Stu, it has to be Sidney Prescott. It cannot be anyone else. It cannot be Gale. It cannot be Tatum. It cannot be Mark Evans. It cannot be Mark Kincaid if he returns. Okay, and I know Stu killed Gale's emotional anchor, Dewey. So you might be thinking, well, it would make sense for, Gale to get her revenge. And I do agree. I do think she should give Sidney like a brief helping hand. But in the end, Sid has to be the one to land the finishing blow. Because this goes way back to 1995, where Stu and Billy both murdered Sidney's mother. Okay, Stu is the origin point of Sidney's trauma and of all these ghost face killings, right? So Sidney should have a chance to avenge her mother by not just already having killed Billy, but to also kill Stu for real. And plus, she dropped the TV on his face last time and it didn't work. It didn't kill him. So she has to try again, and she has to do a better job next time and actually make sure he's dead. Make sure he's not coming back, right? And Stu and Sidney have a long-standing rivalry, with Stu being in hiding all these years and where he's been. You can check out my video where he's been these last 30 years. I got a few things wrong prediction-wise about what I thought would happen in Scream 7, but I believe I'm right about where the hell he's been, what he's been building to, which will lead to Scream 8 or Scream 9. I'll leave the link in the description down below about where the hell Stu's been. But Stu Macher, all these years he's been hiding, he's had one woman on his mind. The one he's always had a thing for, Sid. And he's been plotting his revenge forever. And Sidney's reaction to seeing him alive on that FaceTime call, she was haunted, pissed off. You could see the trauma trigger in that moment. And Stu Macher has been targeting her family and coming back. I believe he is the reason Marco and Jessica came after Tatum and harmed her husband and attacked her family overall. Stu is responsible. So Sid has to bury the past for good if she wants her family to have any kind of peace, and if she wants to end this thread for good, because I do believe Stu has ran a cult that has triggered the events of Scream 5 and 6, right? Otherwise, I believe without Stu, there would be no Scream 5 and 6 and 7, and it would end at the fourth movie, I believe. Stu has been radicalizing people as we speak, keeping this thing alive. So it has to be Sid, and then how he should die. So last time he got a TV dumped on his face, it didn't work. It didn't kill him. So usually they say, well, you got to shoot him in the head. Those are the rules. Stu wasn't shot in the head, and every ghost face comes back for one final scare. But here's the thing. I don't think it should be a headshot. And it definitely shouldn't be Sydney dropping a TV on his head, although that would be kind of funny and poetic. It has to be another way, because I feel like it's Stu. Okay, Stu is a legend. Being the only Ghostface that's alive, being the only Ghostface that will ever return, you know what I'm saying? Like Amber said, there's no Michael Myers to keep coming back. If Stu really is that guy, and if I'm right, if we Stu-thers are right, Stu is an absolute legend, he deserves a better kind of death, not an abrupt, easy headshot. Too quick, too easy. It's got to be brutal, and it can't be quick and painless, given what Stu Macher has put Sydney through. It has to satisfy the fans who are rooting for Sydney against Stu, and it has to, in the way, honor the character Stu. Even though you're making Stu suffer, we just don't want to see him get shot in the head. Or maybe Sid can shoot him in the head when she does another method I have in mind, but only after he appears to be dead, but a just-in-case moment, kind of like what she did with Nancy Loomis. But what should happen is I think Stu should be killed with his own method. You know, Stu's, yes, you take the knife, you slit it from groin to sternum. It takes a man to do something like that. Sydney can prove Stu wrong that no, a woman can do it. And I mean, wouldn't that be so poetic? After the way Stu killed Casey Becker, the way Stu killed Dewey, like this is for Casey, this is for Dewey. And I would even love for her to say those words. The way she killed, or the way, it's not she, the way he killed Hannah and just countless other victims. That is the Stu way. I feel like Stu should die by getting a taste of his own poison. You live by the knife, you die by the knife. Gutting is your favorite move, that is how you die. That's perfect asymmetry right there, and a perfect way for Stu to go out. And I think Stu's reaction to being gutted by Sydney shouldn't be such, I guess, despair, if that makes sense. Even though he's physically in pain, Stu Macher is sick and twisted in the head. I think Stu should act impressed that Sydney Prescott actually came up with that way to kill him, and should tell him should tell her something. He should tell her, "You did good, Sid," with a smile on his face as blood is trickling down his mouth and as he collapses to his knees, falls to his back. And then when it looks like the lights are going out in Stu's brain, then Sydney can take a gun and shoot him in the head to make sure he doesn't come back for a final scare. That's how it should be. I'm not really contradicting myself when I say he shouldn't be shot in the head. I guess now I kind of am saying he should be shot, but it can't be the only way, at least, or the first way. It's got to start in a brutal type of fashion, and the headshot's just a nail in the coffin that makes sure he doesn't come back, which makes it definitive. That's what I believe should happen. That's how I believe Sydney should kill Stu whenever he returns. I mean, you can't tell me this wouldn't be the perfect way for Stu to go out. The perfect way to kill him. You cannot tell me that would not be perfect. To go from, he got a TV to his face and it didn't work. That was the last memory of him, and now a more brutal way. Fans are going to have something in their head now of, this is how he really went out. This is how he really died. And Sydney finally did it. And you know what? I'm going to say Sydney should have to go through hell to even kill Stu. Like, what's coming to mind is how, Invincible, if there's any Invincible fans out there, you know how Mark Grayson had to go through hell twice to kill Conquest twice, although the first time he wasn't dead, because Viltrumites have weird healing. He got all of his limbs, basically his leg and both his arms broken. He had to use his forehead to try and improvise on Conquest's face, right? And then he passed out, would have died if it wasn't for Cecil's help, right? And then, guess what? The rematch, he strangles Conquest, gets his guts rolled out of his stomach like spaghetti. So I do think Sydney has to go through some physical damage as well before tying up that loose end for good. Maybe Stu should also stab her at the same time, but Sydney just gets the better end of it, if that makes sense. Something like that should happen. She should go through a brutal injury so that when Stu dies, Stu at least leaves his mark on her. And then the fans walk away knowing, shit, that was not easy at all. And of course, throughout the whole movie, Stu has to put her through hell. Kind of like what he's been doing in these last couple movies, or, Scream 7. But what do you guys think? Do you guys have any other suggestions on how Stu should die? Because I do think when Stu comes back, he should be killed off. And I'm saying this as a Stu fan. You should not have Stu survive. I mean, if you have him survive, what are you going to do? Have him locked up in prison? There's no point. He has to die. It has to be some Homelander type shit. Well, I don't mean in the sense of, being on your knees and begging and offering to degrade yourself. But I mean like the person who's been here so long, causing so much pain, cannot be let to live on and must die a brutal death. That is the only way to solve this problem. But let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. Like, subscribe, and peace out. I might do an Obsession review. I know this is a Scream channel, but the polls are in, the results are in. Many votes were for yes, so be on the lookout for that. I'm going to try to be a bit more active on this channel going forward. And yeah, peace.